this video, I'm going to show you how to ask your professor for a letter of recommendation while looking completely professional, and I'm going to give you the exact example to do this. This is Career Interrupted. I'm Shauna, and I want to help you get the job of your dreams, no matter your race or where you're from. This is the career channel for professionals who value diversity and inclusion. If that sounds like your thing, be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified when I post a new video. I teach in an MBA program, and in that role, I'll often get requests from students looking for a letter of recommendation. They often sound something like this. Hi, Shauna. I'm in the final stages of interviewing for a company in Halifax. Will you write me a letter of recommendation? Thank you, student. Requests like this leave me with so many questions. Who are you? What's the type of job you're applying for? Did you perform well in my class? What's your background? I am happy to provide letters of recommendations for students, but getting an email like this is really kind of annoying because it's so inefficient. And it's really not setting me up for success or giving me any context as to why or if I should write the letter of recommendation. So whether you're an undergraduate or a graduate student, you're probably at some point going to want to ask a professor or an academic advisor even for some sort of letter of recommendation. That email is not the way to do it. Professors, especially professors who have taught you multiple courses, can provide some really great insights to potential future employer. They've seen how you write, how you present, and this can be really impactful in a letter of recommendation. And not only that, often your professors have a certain degree of credibility in the professional community, and they might even be pretty well connected. The email that I just showed you is full of problems. It just doesn't have enough information to set the professor up for success in writing you a great letter of recommendation. Okay, here are 5 things you can do to look like a total pro when approaching your professor for a letter of recommendation. Ask the right professor. Make sure that the professor you're asking is actually familiar with your academic performance and your work in their course. Make sure that you choose a professor that you've actually interacted with. So a great choice is a prof whose class that you actively participated in. You might also consider getting a letter of recommendation from a professor that maybe you met during office hours, or maybe they provide special advisement on some sort of specific project. It always strikes me a little bit weird when I get a request for a letter of recommendation from a student who never spoke a word in my class. I teach a class that's like really high energy and engaging, and there's lots of room for discussion. So I guess if I'm writing a letter of recommendation, I would have expected that student engaged in the classroom discussions in some way or form. Did you even like my class? Were you there? Provide some details. Keep in mind, the most compelling letters of recommendations provide some sort of specific examples that support the argument for the recommendation. You can actually help your professor by reminding them of any really positive contributions you made to the classroom or any really positive comments that professor might have left on any of your graded work. Maybe you were a really standout presenter in the coursework, and maybe they noted that on your presentation grade feedback. That's worth reminding them about because they can include that specific information about this time you were a great presenter in the letter of recommendation. It makes it a whole lot more credible when there are specifics. Send supporting documents. So you're going to send your request for a letter of recommendation via email. In addition to the text in the body of the email itself, you want to include a couple of important attachments. Attachment 1 is a summary document. Prepare a summary document that clearly lists what classes you took from that professor and your grades. This is also a really great place to note any specific feedback that you got from that professor that was really kind of exceptional. Like, for example, you were that great presenter, right? Remind the professor of that experience in the summary document. If you performed really, really well on any specific item in the course material, make sure you include that in the summary document also. You might also want to include a little paragraph about why you enjoyed this particular assignment to give them a little bit more context. Keep it short and brief and to the point. Make sure that you do have, at the bare minimum, the courses you took from that professor and your grades. The second supporting document that you're going to want to include attached to your email is a copy of your resume. Share your resume so the professor has a line of sight to your professional experience if that is relevant, or any of your extracurricular activities as well. This helps the professor to get to know you a little bit better before they go on and craft that letter of recommendation. Not only that, it might provide valuable insights into your chosen career path. This is all valuable stuff for the prof as they move ahead in writing the letter. If you're applying to a specific job or looking for a letter of recommendation to a specific job, caveat, include the job posting too, along with that resume document. If you're not looking for a generic sort of statement, just take a copy of that job posting, format it so it looks neat and tidy, and include that as well. Attach a copy of your cover letter to the email to your professor. A cover letter is a really great way to articulate why you're a fit for a certain position and to talk a little bit about the value that you can bring to your targeted role. Have a cover letter attached to your email so the professor can get a little bit of flavor around that as well. It provides a nice sort of summary and quick intro also as to the types of roles that you are targeting. And if you're struggling to put together a resume, a cover letter, be sure to check out my playlist on resumes and cover letters. I will link to that in the description. Give as much notice as you can. Everyone's busy, and this is true for your professors as well, especially if it's a point in the year where there's like finals and a lot of grading. Rest assured, you're not the only person asking for a letter of recommendation. It does add a certain amount of pressure and added stress on that prof if you're saying like, I need this letter of recommendation tomorrow. That might not be possible for them to get to. So ask for the letter of recommendation sooner rather than later. It makes you look totally organized, like you're a planner and you've got it together. And not only that, but it also really demonstrates your understanding of the importance of respecting that other person's schedule. So give as much notice as you reasonably can. Be clear about what it is you actually want. Make sure that you clearly indicate in your email what you're actually asking the professor to do and why. Like, what do you want the outcome to be? Are you looking for a general letter of recommendation that you can keep on file and kind of pull as needed when applying to jobs? Something a little bit generic like that. Are you looking for a letter of recommendation specific to a role that you're targeting? Maybe it's your dream job. Let the professor know what it is you want to get out of the letter of recommendation. If you skip this, if you don't clearly indicate what you actually want to get out of the letter of recommendation, you're maybe not going to get what you're after at all. So be clear. Send this email. This is the exact example of the email that you're going to send to your professor. Dear Professor, I enjoyed your class on effective communications, MBA 7510, which I attended in the spring of 2022. As I prepare for my journey into the workforce after graduation, I'm hoping to get a general letter of recommendation from you. I will use this as part of my employment marketing package. I will be pursuing a role in project management post-graduation. As my communications professor, I believe a reference from you will provide a potential employer with insight into my writing, presentation, and leadership abilities. This would assure a potential employer that I have the soft skills required to be a strong performer at their company. I have attached a summary document, resume, cover letter, along with key pieces of feedback I received from your class for your reference. If you need any additional information, please contact me via email. The completed letter of recommendation can be sent via email as a PDF file. I would appreciate if you could send this by May 1st. Thanks so much for your consideration and support. Sincerely, student. And then make sure to include your email address and your phone number in case the professor needs to follow up with you with any questions. And that is how to ask for a letter of recommendation. Make sure to subscribe. This is the channel for professionals who value diversity and inclusion. Thanks so much for watching, and peace out.